Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on the test account and we're going to be looking at the brand new Draconic hero that we got, which is Begris. Now I want to run through the skills and abilities, not to really showcase exactly how he is. We already did that. But looking in here, so he leaps off of one side and it is going to make a big difference on what the environment looks like, if it's lava, if it's swamp, if it's oasis. And most of his abilities are built the same, that they are going to have complete different effects depending on what we're going to have or what he's going to have on the battlefield. We're going to have to really pay special attention. And I don't know if it's going to make sense to ult him at a certain amount of time or at a certain point within combat itself, just to go ahead and get these oasis. Now, another player also noted it seems like they go in a specific area, which I'll show you. So I want to run through, hop in here, do the arena. We're going to start at 360 like we always do. That way we know we are even for the levels and see exactly kind of what this hero can do. So let's go ahead and clean these out. Now I like running him first just to see kind of where the damage scales, where we do have him in here. And overall, it doesn't seem like he's a really big damage dealer. Seems like he is more of a buffer. But coming right out of the gate, you'll notice that he doesn't really seem to do much. You can see the Oasis pops up and it pops up on the allied side. Now that again is something we wanted to look at. It seems like this Oasis is only effective on the allied side. And then it looks like on the enemy side, you can see we do have the lava. And then, of course, the swamp, when it does come up, it comes up right in the middle. So it seems like it is kind of area specific. So I want to run through this again a couple other times because, again, it doesn't seem like we're getting the oasis on the enemy side, which is going to make it a little bit more dependent on where your heroes are placed. It's also going to be a little bit more dependent on where exactly and what you're running for teams. Because I'm thinking of heroes, and again, you can see the Oasis is here on the left side. We do have the lava that appeared over on this right side. And then again, if we get to the point of the swamp seems to come up right in the middle. But again, thinking of this battle, kind of how it sets out, and it's going to make a difference again if you have heroes that are staying on the allied side, if you have heroes or essentially enemies that are on the enemy side, or having crowd control, something like the awakened version of Scrath, or possibly like the awakened version of Estrilda, that is going to push the enemy side even further back, which again, it might make a big difference. Now, 53 million in there. Now, they also did give us a built-out version. If you remember, the trial versions is a built-out version, so it's kind of 5-to-1 on here, and you can see it has about 60 million. So he does run up to that front line. We just seen it right there. Boom, there's a pretty big crowd control over on that side. Again, because they are in that fire debuff, or the fire effect, the land effect, it does make a big difference because it gives them a shield, increasing survivability. 42 million, you can see a lot of healing in here, as well as a considerable amount of damage that's taken. Now I want to try running him up front. Let's see what he looks like up front. And I'm almost thinking he's going to play a support role. I don't see much of a place where he's going to be kind of that primary damage dealer. I feel like, again, he's probably going to be a lot more limited to that support role, just kind of in general, like we're seeing him. And I do like the crowd control. It reminds me of Ezio. And honestly, if you're unfamiliar with Ezio, he does kind of the wall jumping thing as well. And that's kind of exactly what he does remind me of. Let's see, Scrag. Because even in this case, like Scrag is going to push him back. So we know, boom, Scrag knocks him up, bounces a little bit out. Well, now Scrag's going to push him on the enemy side. But look at how fast that ult was. I'm kind of wondering with the different formation or kind of depending who we use in here, what it's going to look like. Let's move this up to 410 and see if we're going to get the exact same, how the survivability is going to look, because it seemed like he was dying pretty early. He's taking quite a bit of damage right there. Got a little bit of heal going on, and here comes the ult. Boom, there we go, lands right in the middle. So he fully healed right there, which again makes a big difference. And of course, amplifying the damage because he does do that Dragon Speak damage, but there is 92. Let's move it up a little bit further. I want to see kind of the point where he starts dying out. So we'll go another 50 levels in here. Now again, we deficiency guys, 51 million to almost the million where he's at, or what, the 9 million where he's at. Again, I think, yeah, he's going to get burned down here. Let's see one or two of these other battles. So survivability overall not going to be a very strong point in here. You can see he just gets absolutely wrecked. That again is a reason why I think he's going to be back row. He's going to be a little bit more of a support hero because level deficiency. And again, we're talking 100 levels in here. He is getting just absolutely wrecked. But let's see. And it's kind of hard because if he is a buffer, like we're seeing him right now, if he's a buffer in here, there's no way to exclude him out or swap in different buffing heroes. Kind of see where the effectiveness of the hero is going to come in. We'll check in a couple minutes and see if he's being used anywhere. And again, I seem like, and I feel like the Oasis side sitting over here, with the awakened version of Estrelda, with a couple other heroes, it feels like this is going to be the sweet spot. Again, damage wise, doing a pretty decent amount of damage. I mean, 78 to 41. That is a pretty decent amount in there. And let's go for some survivability. Let's throw Leviathan in here and see kind of where this comes out. And again, there's the big knockback from Estrelda. So we got the Oasis. We know that's going on. And again, energy regeneration seems like it's going to be a huge part of the kit for this hero. That energy regeneration, I feel like, is going to be one of the big parts that we're going to see with this hero itself. So 75 million, 70 million. So again, doing about on par with what we see with the tank. Let's throw like an awakened version of Thorin in there. Let me drop him in the back and see exactly what we do get in this formation. So we know Thorin's going to die, which means, of course, Begris just gets absolutely train wrecked there. Again, survivability, it's a little disappointed to see exactly where he's at. So if he is frontline, again, I feel like frontline, he is just going to get run over in the entirety. Yeah, I feel like that again, the survivability is not really going to be there for him. Here we go, splitting damage. So we got Skyline in here. Again, we got an ult right there. All right, so we got a little bit of that shielding aspect up. And again, I'm almost thinking with the ability, so he does go down right there. Yeah, 135. Look at this, 6 million damage. That's why I said I feel like he's not going to be doing the damage that we really need or the damage we see. Let's put a little bit of crowd control in here with that awakened version of Iran. Boom. Yeah, I don't even think Begris is going to do anything in this. I think Iran just literally ran everyone straight over in that formation itself. So guys, again, it's interesting to see because when he comes in here, depending on the environment, is you're going to have the haste reduced enemy units that damage the shield. Again, he's going to have to be attacked, has the haste reduced. Enemy units that damage the shield are going to have a health loss. So again, he's going to have to be attacked to make the effectiveness of this. And then when the shield expires or breaks, it gives him a heal. And then, of course, the tenacity. So all of this is going to be kind of based on what environment he is in, which again, if he's on the enemy side, he's going to be in the lava environment. If he's on the Oasis side, he is going to be on the allied side versus the enemy side with lava environment. And if he's on swamp environment, it seems like that kind of comes up in the middle. So again, it almost seems like it's somewhat situational in there. And then, of course, enemy units within the swamp environment, which is going to be the middle, has the movement speed and the haste reduced. Oasis allied units within range, again, which is going to be on the allied side. He does have a heal, which again, I don't really like. And then a little bit of damage, which he's not doing a lot of damage over here. This just buffs up the tenacity. And then with this one, again, the normal attacks deal more damage. Even looking at the swamp, normal attack knockdown, so a little bit of crowd control. And then right here, the normal attacks restore his energy, but it is only his energy, which again, makes it really seem like he is going to have a pretty big build in here to work incredibly well. Now, signature item, this was the interesting one because of the energy. So right here, allied units that have their energy restored by 200 when gaining a shield through this skill. So going in here every 8 seconds, allied units remain in the Oasis environment, which is on the allied side. They will gain a shield. So again, if anyone's running over to the enemy side, this isn't going to make a really big difference because they're not going to get the shield. If they don't get the shield, they're not going to get the energy regeneration in there, which again is interesting because allied units in lava. So it's almost like it's ranged, or it's going to have to be ranged, depending on where he is. But to keep these enemies in this lava environment, they are going to have to stay on the enemy side, which again is going to be pretty interesting because you're going to kind of have to lock them over to that far side, which makes me think crowd control, something of that nature. Now, let me look at the two game modes and see if this hero is being used anywhere. And I'm not sure on the test server if the Cursed Realm or the Cursed Realm or the Nightmare Corridor are up, which it looks like they are. Are we seeing this hero? So let's check out Rocksta. So going in here, we do see Marseille. Unfortunately, nobody else in there. Primary here, we have Iran, we have Nox in there, a couple other heroes. Again, with the Orthos cheese kind of craziness. In here again, not being used, but we do have Skyland within there. Scion is in there, and there again is the awakened version of Skarath. Final one does not bring him into formations either. Let me check out one more, guys, just to kind of make sure that we see the exact same kind of comps and we're not missing him over. Now, I know, of course, on the test server, he is incredibly well or new, and these heroes are very, very expensive. I feel like Nightmare Corridor could be a place that we see him. Even here again, there's the Orthos cheese. You can see 47 for the defense right there. We do have Scion, and there he is. So he is showing up in Scion's formation. Let's slow this down and kind of see what it looks like. And of course, it's an 8-second battle, guys. So this is literally almost over before it even starts. Test server bugs out a lot, so we might not be able to see it. But as you can see, it is a fully built out copy. So they are using the trial version. It comes up. There's the little buff. So the Oasis side does come up. Yeah, see, I feel like that might not make that big of a difference in there. And I'm wondering, let's see if a couple other players are using the hero. No, see in here, there's Vithiel. Now, Vithiel offers a big damage amplification right from the beginning. So again, that's going to be interesting to see because I don't think he's being used in here. Might have just been a one-off. And then, of course, Garok is being used in here. And we're also seeing Telmar in here as well. So, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the new hero. And as always, thank you guys for watching.